Every Thursday, we talk business with Patrick Gremion, and that's what we're doing right now. What's happening, dude?
Good morning, Brian. Good morning. Good morning.
How did the rest of last Thursday evening's soiree go?
Oh, it went super well.
That was
It went,
fantastic, by the way. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming. That was a fun
weren't
time.
listening last week.
So last week, we did our first ever Patty G patio party where we invited all the past guests to come out, celebrate, and just as a thank you to them for coming on the show, taking their time, and just being a part of the community. And we had probably 40 or 50 people turn out. It was a great event, fun time over at Pete Bush's house, and had some food, had some drinks, and it was a good time. I think the last person left around like 8:30, so it was fun.
Okay, well, then I stuck it out longer than I thought.
Yeah, no, it was from 5 to 8.
Yeah.
And you were there for a while.
Yeah.
You had your things you had to get to,
Well, I had to go pick up a daughter.
Exactly.
These things happen. They get in the way from time to time.
Right, but no, I'm very much appreciative of everybody that came out. It was a lot of fun. I committed to doing it for the next decade, so we're locked in.
Awesome. Good deal. Yeah, we had a good time. And it is bringing together all the different guests, which was kind of cool. We'll get around to this week's guest in just a little bit, but we got to dive in on the topic today, and that is the topic of quiet hiring. We heard about quiet quitting as kind of I'm not really quitting, but at the same time, I'm just not doing anything. I like the movie Office Space. I don't like my job. I'm just not going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
So you're quitting? No, I'm just not going to go.
What would you say you do here? In a given week, I do 15 minutes of actual productive work.
Right. The ultimate quiet quitting. It was Office Space. Quiet hiring, a little bit different. Let's talk about it. What is it?
So quiet hiring is what some people would view as, it's just a promotion, right? But in reality, it's you've gotten to the point where your firm or your company is understaffed. And so you're having to do things and tasks and projects beyond your original job description. You're asked to do assignments and work that you've either not been trained up on fully, or you've kind of had a crash course and pretty much just said, get after it. But there's not been so much of a pay adjustment or a compensation adjustment or a time adjustment on the front end. It kind of happens later on, but it's really, we need you to do more than you're doing right now. And instead of hiring somebody, we're just going to kind of transition you into that role.
Yeah, I hate this term. It's a dumb term.
I agree. It's a dumb term because if done right, it can be a positive thing. But we tend to skew it in a negative light from the perspective of either the employee or those from the outside looking in.
So if I were to say those two words together, quiet hiring, it just makes it sound like people are filling jobs without an interview process, without posting it on Indeed, without any overall looking at qualified candidates, and just be like, hey, we're going to slide you in there. We're on, but that's not what this is. There's no hiring involved in quiet hiring.
Yeah,
that's it. So it's a dumb term.
I agree. You're not hiring. It should be like internal promoting or something like that, because you're not texting a friend, hey, we have a job vacancy, come work here.
Right.
And then they go, great, here's your starting papers, Brian. Come on in and get started.
Well, but a big part of this is the precursor to the next round of quiet quitting, which is why the quiet part's definitely right. When you're revamping a job description, you're throwing out a job description and just saying, that last line of your job description that says all other duties requested by your supervisor?
Yeah.
Yeah. When that really means everything else under the sun, now you've changed the game and you're going to tick off a lot of your personnel. This does not lead to good morale. This does not lead to positive results long term. You might be able to squeeze a couple of extra hours out of somebody in the short term, but they're going to be up and looking for something else real soon.
Especially whenever it's coupled with a lack of communication from a superior or a manager. Whenever one day you show up and you've got a project on your desk that you've known nothing about and is not really within your wheelhouse. If I were to come to you and say, Brian, I need you to work on this Excel project for me, you'd be like, well, that's not my strong suit. XYZ person's way better than that.
Yeah.
Why are you having me do that?
Right.
Well, this is just part of your other responsibilities and your delegations that we need you to do. But if you take the time as an employer and as a manager to say, look, you're progressing well. We think you've outpaced your existing job responsibilities. Therefore, we're going to either work with a job change, a job description update, or even a promotion, and that's going to come with an XYZ compensation package.
Okay, but backloading a promotion or promising a promotion on the back end means you're eventually going to have to deliver on that promise.
Right. You can't just say, here is a new title, here are new job responsibilities, get after it. You know, because that's it.
You say that, but that was like kind of the entirety of the 90s. Hey, there won't be any more pay, but you do have a new title.
Yeah. And now you've got people, I guess, in the 2020 time frame that are not taking it.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to either speak out, and maybe the 90s people were trying to talk about it around the water cooler. Like, you know, hey, didn't you get this new promotion? No. They just changed my job description. I'm getting the exact same pay for a lot more complicated work.
Right.
Well, at that time, what was their outlet? The water cooler or friends down, wherever they were going to hang out. Now, people can write an article, post it out, and get across whatever platform they want to communicate and create a term that's been around for so long.
There is a platform right now, and I'm trying for the life of me to remember the name of it. I'm not going to waste on-air time trying to battle with my own brain, but it's like a social media outlet for people to dump all over their companies. Whether you didn't get as much of a promotion or an annual increase as you think you should have, because pay increases are not keeping up with the rate of inflation by any stretch.
Which that's a whole nother side of this from a quiet hiring perspective. If you take the time to vent on a platform about this new promotion, air quotes, what does your employer have from a retaliation standpoint? Can they do anything? You know, that also is a component if people start complaining about this so much, where now that's become a LinkedIn post. Walked into my job today, and what I did yesterday is no longer what I do today. However, I'm still getting paid the same amount I was yesterday.
The one that I'm talking about is anonymous. You're not posting under your own name. There's like a color involved in the name. Oh man,
it's like
let me look it up during the break. I'll look it up during the break. But the communication part is also important because you have a better chance of buy-in on the employee's standpoint. If, hey, listen, I can't promise you anything on the back end. This is going to suck for a little while, but we're working to get through what we're all in right now. Trying to hire more people somewhere else, but you know how the job market is right now. Unemployment's low and jobs are still left open. So can you take this extra thing on? Or not can you? I need you to take this extra thing on, and we'll come out the other side stronger together. That, to me, that puts somebody in more of a position to want to succeed.
Right. Having that conversation, saying, we're going to try our best to deliver, but right now we've got jobs that just aren't getting done because we don't have the staff.
All right, we're going to break real quick. We're going to check traffic. We're going to check your money now. The conversation about quiet hiring will continue on the back end of the break. He's Patrick Grimion, host of the Patty G Show. It is 6:46 at Talk 107.3.
A color?
What is the name of this thing? Vent space is one. No, but when we have a 90% chance of rain with severe thunderstorms and a watch box.
Vent space? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. By the way, I don't know if Christy's still watching this morning. Good morning, Boo.
Blind?
No, that's not it either. It's been popping up on TikTok where...
I've just heard vent space. That's what I'm seeing. Vent space, I'm seeing blind. Psych Central. Yeah, I just see vent. And vent space. Whisper.
No, it's not it.
Yik yak.
It's not
Oh,
Yik
good
Yak.
old Yik yak.
I thought Yik Yak was like for...
It was like a
Colleges.
college thing back
Yeah.
in the day.
Yeah, it was when I was
And
at
people would be
LSU.
like, who's selling weed?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Emerald chat.
Well, apparently this is more than one of them, though, right?
There's a lot of them.
People don't do house parties anymore.
House
When did that stop being cool? Because when I was in like
At
my
college?
first couple years of college, like we still did house.
That's all we would
parties.
do is go to people's apartments.
Yeah. Do people still do that?
I mean, I only went.
Or am I just not?
I only went
like,
to 2 because I had so many friends.
Bruh.
But yeah, it was always like
You would always go to a house party, like every time.
when, and
Every
especially
weekend.
when it was depending on whose parents were either out of town or the cooler parents that would let everybody stay over.
Yes.
So like you
Like in
get
high school.
no, not in high school. We're not encouraging underage drinking
No.
here.
Stop. Wasn't underage when I was in school.
Me either. I
It was-
failed
it was
so
18.
many times.
I was,
It was not 18 when you were in school.
No, I'm saying like I was not underage in high school.
Oh no, he's saying at 18 that was the drinking age when he was in high school.
But yeah, I forgot that here it was like that. There. Okay, do y'all remember this on MTV? There's a show like a long ass time ago, and I think it only had one season, and it was like a bunch of people. It was a reality show, and it was people that lived like here in Louisiana. I don't remember from where. Let me see. I think it was called Buck Wild.
Wait, yes.
Do you remember this?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I don't know if it's Buck Wild's name, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I can picture
No, it's not Buck Wild.
I can picture the people on like the cover in the commercials talking about it.
Was it Buck Wild?
no, not that one either.
Was it in that? Were they in the LP?
I don't know. No, Buck Wild was not that.
Okay, the next time I see it, I'm going to share it with you. I'm just not finding this
MTV.
damn thing.
Louisiana.
MTV show.
Oh, here it is.
True Life.
Was it True Life?
Fishbowl.
Fishbowl.
Yes.
Where'd you get a color from?
I don't remember.
So what's Fishbowl?
No. Oh, okay, it was.
Dude, you gotta ask for more. Oh my god. Did you quit yet? No. I mean, where
It was True Life.
I'm gonna blow him up on Fishbowl though. Really? Yeah. Our competitor did 10%.
And get this. The family's name was the Terrio family.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
True Life.
It was,
It was True Life.
The
thought it was
riot,
like
in
I
the,
thought
the
it was
riot in the bayou.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barn fighting, underage drinking, and breaking almost every other rule is a normal day for the rowdy Terrio family.
My gosh, where are they from? Southern Louisiana with a no holds.
by the way, thank you both for staying on task throughout that. That was fantastic. I appreciate it.
Brian, we couldn't get into your mind to know what to search. I tried searching and none of my results were what you were
What was I
after.
supposed to do?
What do you want? What do you want from me?
To totally run it down completely off topic.
I think we were right on point with our topic.
There's a clear line of reasoning and thought for how we end up at the
Fishbowl.
Terrios.
Something like super random, and I was like, am I supposed to just keep up with your stream of consciousness? Like,
Yes, all the time. So Fishbowl, got it.
Yes.
It's an interesting name. I guess you wouldn't think anything of it.
Ow.
what the hell?
Shoot.
You all right?
Yeah, the seat shifted and my back pulled. Oh, that was such an old man thing.
Very old man.
Good
You're gonna say anything.
God.
Right. But it's very, very old man.
He's okay. We can laugh.
What?
Are you sure you're okay? You need to like lay down, do some stretches. You gonna make it?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the slightest shift in the seat, and now my back feels like it just ripped apart.
I mean, I've been there, but not for this long.
652 Talk 1073 FM, WBRP, 71 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Continuing on with Patrick Remion, host of the Patty G Show. Fishbowl.
Fishbowl!
Was the name of the app. It says get ahead with other professionals. Join others in your industry and company to get helpful advice from colleagues and coworkers. But apparently, like most of Fishbowl, and I haven't downloaded it yet. I've seen videos on TikTok, so I know it's true. most of it is just like employees ripping on the companies they work for.
But how healthy is that?
It's not.
Like,
none of it's healthy.
From a
It's
mental
toxic.
standpoint, like how healthy can that be?
Well,
Because at that point, now you're just going to work to get more toxic information to spew about your employer on
isn't it half
Fishbowl.
of what television is? I mean,
But I feel like there's always that, that third wall or that fourth wall. What's whatever the wall is?
the fourth wall.
The fourth wall that you don't break
Yeah.
between television and reality.
Right.
Fishbowl is just like, nah, no walls.
And the way that Fishbowl pushes themselves, they say get advice on big decisions from people who have walked in your shoes and blazed some trails. That sounds great in theory, but in the videos that are like floating around on TikTok or on Instagram Reels or whatever, the videos that are floating around, it's like two people talking on the phone and like, how much raise did you get? Oh, I only get 5%. Oh, really? Our competitors are offering 10%.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to blow them up on the Fishbowl app. Okay, first of all, don't let comparison be the thief of joy. Secondly, if you don't like where you're at, pack up and leave. There's jobs available. Don't, because what you're going to inevitably end up doing is ruining for the rest of everybody.
When you're now encouraging a sense of either quiet quitting through that,
Yep.
figuring out a way to either get one back at the boss, get one back at the manager, or ultimately leave and go to somewhere else because for whatever reason you're not happy. Now, on the flip side, you're going to have people say, well, isn't that what this is supposed to do? The employees holding the employers accountable and making sure that they're doing right. Yeah, but to a degree, I mean, you don't see them going on Company Bowl and bashing their employees.
Right.
You know, Susie and Sal, they're terrible employees. Don't you ever hire them? You know, they don't work. They show up 15 minutes late.
How awful would that look if management were to start doing that?
Right.
If someone were to go on Fishbowl and say, I need to go check in with my competitors, which first of all, we'll talk non-competes again eventually. I need to go check in with my competitors because I'm about to bail on these people because they didn't give me a big enough raise. What if management was allowed to say, okay, I see your post and you've been heard, but I think those who are reading your post before they pile on and tell you what a great warrior you are, they need to know that you don't come in on time and you spend countless hours in the break room and you steal lunches and you tell other people that they should hate the company too.
Ooh.
I'm like, if there were like some kind of follow behind, and with all credit to the late Paul Harvey, if there were some kind of follow behind with the rest of the story, it would be fantastic. It would be, first of all, leveling. Like, let's take you down a peg real quick, not for the purpose of taking you down a peg, but not to create this viral sensation about how everyone's getting screwed over.
Yeah, there is always two sides to every story. And generally, whenever one person speaks out about the story, it's going to be heightened, it's going to be emotional, and it's going to be over the top so they can get a point across. But then when you have the other party involved who didn't say anything, who didn't bring anything up, right, all they're going to do is come to the table and say, well, here are the facts.
Now,
here are the facts of the matter. Take all emotion out of it.
Yeah.
Here's what actually happened.
right.
And now we're on the other side of the bowl, you know?
Now, that being said, a lot of that angst and anger can start with, going back to our topic, quiet hiring.
Right.
A lot of that angst and anger can start with management being a little bit out of kilter. Those who are doling out new responsibilities, not sharing in the load, not sharing in the wealth. So, yeah.
And I think it goes back to a form of communication and a form of trying to squeeze the budget. Instead of saying we're going to take on somebody else for this role, and if you're going to promote from within, a.k.a. quiet hiring, you got to figure out a way to compensate them for that. If they're going to get a new job title, they're going to get a new job description, figure out a way to make sure that their compensation matches that and that they want to do that.
Yeah.
That's also the important part.
All right. Got about a minute and a half left. How is quiet hiring going to shape the workplace or morph the workplace?
I think it's going to be twofold. One, on the employees, they're going to get the courage to start negotiating when those tasks come in the form of either simple responses to, hey, I notice this is outside of my existing job responsibilities and duties. Can you please let me know if this is going to affect anything in a form of compensation, et cetera? They're going to get more of a backbone whenever they're starting to get pressed on additional responsibilities. On the employer side, I think the managers are really going to have to step up. The people in charge are going to have to step up and figure out a way to work with their employees to get them not only on board, but excited about the new responsibilities, because it means more promotion, more advancement within the company, and hopefully either incentives or bonuses or some type of structure where they can get rewarded for their efforts.
Do you see this trend continuing, or do you see the job market pivoting to where quiet hiring just means actual hiring instead?
I see what is actually happening, promoting from within continuing. People aren't able to go out and hire somebody for an upper management role because they can't find them because they're all working elsewhere.
But then you turn around, you move someone up, and you fill the job rather than the person being two jobs.
Right.
Absolutely. What's coming up on the show this week?
This week we have the Backpacker. We sat down with Michael Matthews for an on-site recording. So we actually
cool.
recorded in the Backpacker in their Baton Rouge location.
All
so
right.
it was a lot of fun.
That's
And
right there on Jefferson near corporate.
right there on Jefferson and Corporate. Yeah,
Very
we sat
cool.
in front of their really cool fireplace and everything, talked about how they got started with his dad in college planning ski trips for LSU, and then eventually going to actually outfitting people for everything and anything.
Anywhere you get your podcasts is where you'll find the Patty G Show. You will also find the Patty G Show right here as part of our Saturdays on Demand lineup. Saturday nights right here on Talk 107.3 FM, where we just stack up a whole bunch of podcasts together and just run them. Screw the breaks. We're just going. He is Patrick Grimion. We always appreciate the time, man.
Thank you, Brian.
No, thank you as well. We are going